Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, I'm Leaving My Family Because I'm Tired of Being Used. And guys, this story is about a guy, sounds like he's at the very least, very late 30s, maybe at the most early 40s. And he shares his story about how he, like a lot of foolish guys, got involved with a single MLM. Thing is, though, unlike a lot of guys that are a lot older, he was very young. He was a teenager, I'm assuming like 18 or 19 years old, and she was in her 20s and already had a kid. And let's just say she knew what buttons to push to rope him in. And he's learned, after many years of being with her, the misery of getting involved with a single MLM, being taken advantage of, etc., etc. Fortunately, this guy has been pushed too far. He's kicking her to the curb. And you're also going to see, guys, this, unfortunately, he had a couple of his own kids with her. Well, he thinks they're his kids. And after years being taken advantage of by her and her stepson, her child, he's done. He's walking away. He is finished. And it goes to show you, guys, that you can make mistakes when you're younger. And we all do. But there's still an opportunity to leave that behind you and move on. And so very important lessons in this story. This could have been done on my other channel, to be honest with you, but that'd be good here to little details which you'll see along the way. So guys, remember the lessons of the story. Don't get involved. The single MOMs. Find a single girl. Save yourself a lot of headaches. They're not all like this, but a lot are. And of course, you can always walk away. And when people see weakness, they take advantage of it, or a lot of people do. So it starts off, he says here, I'm a middle-aged man with 2 young children and an adult stepson. When I met my partner, I was a teen and she was in her 20s. I fell hard and pursued her passionately. Smack. Despite her being a single MOM working at McDonald's. Smack. Dude, did you not have any girlfriends up to that point? She must have really known how to push your buttons. I heard her stories of abuse from her past relationship and trauma from multiple incidents of things against her. Still, I wanted her for myself, and I vowed to shield her from future pain. Smack. Classic white knight mentality. Watch too many movies. I'm going to save this girl. Now, nobody deserves to be treated in a way, if it was true, what she was claiming to him about the abuse and all that, nobody deserves that, right? But the thing is, a lot of times, and you guys are aware of this from the stories, and maybe people you've known in life, they repeatedly put themselves in the same situations to be abused and they keep choosing the same people to be with, same types, and they wonder why the same thing keeps happening over and over again. There's a point where somebody has to take some accountability for the type of predicaments they get themselves into. Nobody deserves to have these types of things happen to them, but I think you get my point. Throughout our relationship, it was necessary for her ex to be involved in our life due to his son. He would be at family events, but was not involved beyond that. He did not pay child support, and he once got hostile towards my partner when asked about it, so we decided to provide together going forward. What do you mean he couldn't get child? He's allowed to be around to see the kid, but he can't pay child support? Are you kidding me? Or is it possible that maybe she's been bullshitting you? Maybe he is paying child support, but she's keeping it to buy herself shoes and has you to pay for those things. I despise that I was now in my early 20s and paying for a 30-something man's child because it felt like an injustice when coupled with his right to be present. Nobody forced you to be with the single MOM. Nobody forced you to pay for her kid. Nobody forced you to raise that kid. Okay, like he is a dirtbag, and so is she, but nobody forced you, dude. And where is this guy's family telling him what's what, that he's making a mistake in this whole situation? Because he was like a teen when he met her. He was a kid. I mean, come on here. This is why I do what I do. This is why young guys need a masculine role model to talk to them about reality, not fantasy land and being a white knight. Not to mention, she now tells me that if I leave, I must pay child support, and she sent me documents to fill out if my decision is followed through with. She makes jokes saying that I will pay for everything when she goes. She'll use the money for plastic surgery, and I'll always know that my money is hers to play with. So she's outright toying with you. She knows you're not happy. This conversation came up and saying, if you do that, I'm going to get you raked over by the coals in the court and have you pay for everything, but I'll just use it not on the kids, but also on boob jobs. What a great girl. And you could tell who she was, I guarantee, when he first met her, but he was too young, didn't know. Throughout the years, not once did my partner mention the abuse to her son, and he found out as a teenager from his grandmother. Meanwhile, she tells my oldest, beginning at the age of 3, that I'm mentally ill and that I abuse drugs and women. What? He says lies, except for the fact that I do smoke weed occasionally. She says she does this because I make her angry and she knows it hurts me. Why the hell are you with her? You had children with her? And by the way, he didn't marry her. Thank the Lord for that. There was some... You'd think that if he didn't marry her, then obviously he could tell something was wrong with her. That gut feeling, maybe I shouldn't marry this chick. Why are you staying with this? But this is what guys do when they think they're worth nothing. This is as good as it gets. It's not as good as it gets, guys. There's always things better. As the years continued, I made a request that child support be provided because we were having a baby and it felt just. My partner told me she would leave me before she asked her ex for money. I felt crushed and without choices. There you go. She's still carrying a torch for the ex, even though he was supposedly abusing her. She's still carrying a torch for him, meanwhile while milking you for everything it's worth. The writing's on the wall, my man. As the years went on, my frustration grew because her son started to get argumentative and confrontational. He also began to abuse my daughter, but that was ignored because he was a kid or a teenager. You're letting her piece of crap son harass your child, and no wonder that he's being disrespectful towards you because he follows it from the mother and obviously hears it from his dad. Now we have another child and her son is 21. He changed his educational path after 1 year of stagnation, followed by 2 years in a program he decided wasn't what he wanted anymore. And he's now enrolled in a 4-year course. Despite my partner telling me that her son would move out at age 16 to live with his dad, which didn't happen because we have a big house and he likes what we have more, then when he's done high school, then being told just this year that her son will stay with us until he's done his 4-year program, then his master's, then he will save his money while working by living in our basement until he is ready to go. Who's the man in this relationship? Because it sounds like this guy's wife is dictating everything and he's just going along with this. But you see, she has no respect for him. He's demonstrated he has no backbone and can be pushed around. And I'll buy for a second that she wasn't getting child support. Okay? If she wasn't, it's because, well, let me phrase that. I'm absolutely certain she was getting child support, just lying to him. And she was going to use that money for herself. Or, let's just say she wasn't, it's because she's carrying a torch for her bad boy ex. With the recent news of living with her adult son being delivered, I saw my life flash before my eyes, and all I could see is her ex using me to supplement his son's existence, and now her son is using me to supplement his dreams. If he's a grown-ass adult, tell him to get the fuck out. End of story. And she doesn't like that, too bad. Or, it's time to kick her to the curb. I just feel like I'm too young to put my life on hold. I don't want my resources directed to a man that's as old as I was when I was a man enough to get a job and provide for a single MOM. I want to support my little ones. I want to pursue my dreams. I don't have the resources for myself, my kids, and her adult son. In this scenario, I'm the one that has to sacrifice to make ends meet. Dude, you're not married to her. And that kid, unless you sign something, he's not legally your child, okay? He's a grown-ass adult. You have to be responsible for shit, okay? End it. Move on. Break up. You have a house together, sell the house, split the proceeds, all that. Do what you can to get those kids, because she's a train wreck, and will try to mess with them to punish you. You're about 40 years old. Your life is not over. Hell, you're not old because I'm 45, and I don't consider myself old. You can always turn things around, even if it seems hopeless, but you need to get help. I expressed this to my partner, and she told me I'm envious and a freak that has mental illness and that not providing for her son will end badly. Will end with me not being welcome in her life. You discussed it with her. You expressed to her. You don't talk about it. You don't talk about you're potentially going to leave in such a casual way with someone like that. What you do is you meet with an attorney, find out your options, good, bad, or ugly, and plan an attack and plan your course of action and get out of there. Because, of course, she's going to threaten you and mess with your head and all that. Because she's a piece of garbage. I'm confounded. I don't want to buckle. I feel wronged and misused. Then don't buckle. Now I want to leave. I just don't want to do it anymore. Her son is selfish and just takes. He tries to make rules for me to live by and has become confrontational and close to physical when I challenged him. Kick his ass. I feel as if the last 15 years of my life is an investment that implies I have to stay because so much is at stake, but my heart tells me that that isn't love. This isn't for me anymore. It's never been love. She's been using you from day one. She knew you had the hots for her when she first met you. You were younger than her, and you pursued her as you described, and she took advantage of it. But it's not over unless you give up. As of this week, I've been fixing up the home and quietly preparing for its sale. I want to go. Good. Okay, now that ends this thing, and I got a lot to say here, and there's comments to say. So what have we learned here? He gets roped in as a young guy, like 19 years old or something like that, to a single MOM. Working at McDonald's. I got no problem with anybody working at McDonald's, as that's a stepping stool to something better, or if you want to become a manager, maybe one day own your own franchise. But the point is, she didn't have a whole lot going on for her, and she had a single kid and all this drama in her past. But the problem is this white knight bullshit that so many young guys get roped into because they see it in the movies and television, and they just bring all this misery into their life right here. This guy's been suffering all these years. But here's the deal. It doesn't have to last forever, but he has to find the strength that's in there that he never used to pull himself forward, talk to a lawyer, find out all his options, and get out of there. And he's not married to her, thank God, so that makes things a lot easier. And her stepson, his stepson, her child, is now a legal adult. Okay? Now, I know the laws of his state. I'm not an attorney, but at the end of the day, it's a lot easier than if he was actually married to her and even was dumb enough to adopt him. So, talk to a lawyer, find out your options, and get the hell out of there. And she can threaten everything, but don't tell her about your plans. Plan your course of action and get out of there. And do everything you can to get those kids. And because those kids, you can tell right now, she's going to mess them up just to stick it to him. Evil freaking... And by the way, here's a question. Are those kids his? I would say DNA test also, I might add. But guys, you cannot... This is why I do what I do. To share these stories, but also help guys to build themselves up so they don't allow people like this in their lives to take advantage of. And I don't just mean lovers. I mean also in friendships or at work or anything. Because there are a lot of evil people out there. And they smell weakness, they will exploit it. When you're feeling good about yourself and you're doing well, you're not going to think this is as good as this gets, so I don't want to be alone, so I'll be with some a-hole that treats me like garbage. Now, some comments. One guy says here, I'd be out that door so fast her head would spin. I guarantee the second you say you're leaving, she will change her tone. They always play hardball until they know you're serious. When he absolutely makes it clear he's out of there, it'll be very interesting to see what she does. I just hope he doesn't fall for her bullshit when suddenly she puts on the sweetness and charm. Another guy says here, make sure when it comes to custody you have documented proof of parental alienation and what she plans to do with the child support. Under no circumstance agree to anything regarding her oldest son. Get out of there. You're being used, taken advantage of, and abused. You don't deserve that. Correct. Another guy says here, are you married to this one or just living together? They're just living together. I found that out in the comment section. And please never fall for the old saying, I have 15 years invested. They were years of use and abuse. You being used and abused. Get yourself out of the situation and find a woman who loves and supports you. You are worth it. Another one. Guy says, speak to a lawyer. Get all your ducks in a row before you tell her anything. Paying some child support each month is cheaper than letting someone suck your soul and finances every day for the rest of your life. You deserve happiness. He does. But it isn't just child support. He cares about his kids, if they are his kids. And the very last one, and it's a good one to end on. It says, please, please, please don't fall into her trap. Well, he's been in her trap 15 years or 20 years or whatever it is. Don't get confrontational. Just record everything she says to you. And once you have enough evidence that she'd be unfit to take care of your kids, run. My mom was like this. Even got my dad arrested with abuse charges. He got out once that they saw he was being the one abused, but he refused to press charges. Once they divorced, she got custody of me, and it was a living hell. She abused me in every way she could and kept my dad away from me and fed me lies about him my whole life, to the point that I can't stand being around him. Don't let her get the upper hand, or else you'll end up with abused kids who will resent you for abandoning them. And he said, abandoning. She's not mature enough to take care of them and is unfit to be a mother. I bet the moment you divorce her, she'll get into a relationship with someone who will treat your kids like garbage. Guarantee that will happen. And I guarantee she's been cheating on him all along. I'm willing to bet you she's been cheating on him with the father of her oldest he's been taking care of. And it is possible that the kids who this guy thinks are his kids are actually that scumbag, her scumbag ex, or some other dudes. There's no way. Just she's been true and blue. I mean, I hope for his sake that they are his kids because he loves them. But good Lord. So guys, you heard the lessons earlier. Don't fall for this type of crap. Life is too short. This is why it's so important so many young guys watch my videos, even though I'm doing this in my car and some people don't take me seriously. Very important things to learn from these videos and the things to talk about. I wish this guy the best. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.